Hello everyone and welcome to my corner of the world. So I've been sharing my junk journal journey with you, and I thought I would just show you what I did with the journal that I created over the weeks. And you can see it's appreciably fatter than it was when before we left. And so I'm really glad that I put these extra long ribbons and strings on to keep everything together. So this is what I did with my journal. When we were on a cruise, and when we had a sea day, I sat down and I kept everything up to date. So I've got one or two things more to do. I want to put a picture here, but you can see I've got things like my boarding passes there. We flew to Copenhagen via Philadelphia, and then I've written sort of a little bit of an intro, and I used a tag for a bit more telling of our adventure getting to Copenhagen, because we had some weather delays because of a hurricane. And then things like we had some unusual tea. We found a lovely little coffee place in Copenhagen and had some unusual teas. And then I've got my maps and of the tours that we took around the city, as well as the boat tour that we did. And I've got some spare tags, and I think I might be using those for putting some more photographs on when I get them printed. Then our cruise left Copenhagen, and it was the Serenade of the Seas. And we actually did 2 cruises back to back. And the first one took us up to the Norwegian coastline. And so I just cut these pieces out of the daily ship's newsletter. And there's just a little bit of information about each of our stops. And again, a little bit more journaling there. And a bit more here. I remember Old Inn, we got absolutely soaked that day. Absolutely drenched. And then different maps of the different places that we mainly walked around the various ports of call that we visited. And then we went to Amsterdam. That was the end of the first cruise. So there's my sea pass for the first cruise, and then this was the different ports that we made each day. And then we left Amsterdam and headed for Iceland. And as we were traveling, we were actually going back in time. So we lost 2 hours between Amsterdam and Reykjavik. And then we found in Reykjavik this lovely coffee shop, really gorgeous coffee shop. And I picked up one of their cards there. And I've just tucked that in, and I'll probably stick that down. More journaling. And then in Iceland, we did some tours, visited a geothermal electricity generating plant, and it was bitterly cold in Iceland. It's aptly named. It wouldn't have seemed quite so bad if it wasn't for the wind. Oh dearie me, did that wind cut through you. And then we had a few more days at sea. We lost some more time. We went back in time again, and we arrived in Greenland, and a place called, lots of Q's, no U's, and it's actually called Quahotok. Apparently, is how you pronounce that. And so we did a walking tour, and let's see what else I've got here. So oh, that was the next part of the trip. So there you go. That's apparently that is pronounced Kohortok. So, and then we went on to St. John's in Newfoundland, and we did another walking tour. More journaling on a tag, and that's St. John. Sorry, yes, St. John's is in Newfoundland, which is part of Canada. And we visited the governor's mansion, and there was this campaign here for violence against women and children. And and then there was this lovely postcard of the Queen, which I picked up. Yeah, still not come to grips with the fact that she's no longer with us. So little things like ticket stubs. So that's what I did there. And okay, then we went to Halifax, Nova Scotia. We went back in time again. Only 30 minutes that time. And we visited, oh, and I meant to say, when we were in St. John's, Nova Scotia, we had the best cake and tea ever, definitely the best we've ever had. So again, this was the sort of the pier that we were on, and again, we lost another hour going between Halifax and our next stop, which was Nova Scotia. So here we've got, because we had some sea days, so I used this flap to do some more journaling, and I left this gap. I think I've got a picture on my phone I'm going to be putting there. And then we spent a couple of a day and a half in New York. So we visited the Liberty and Ellis Island, which neither of us had been to before. And I picked up this the brochure there, and I just stuck that in there. And then the following day we visited the Intrepid, which is an aircraft museum, and it was literally next door to where we berthed I mean, literally, it was a 2-minute walk from our ship to the Intrepid. So we've got the museum map there. And then we went there to Bermuda. So we actually put the clocks forward for that part of the trip. And we had a nice day there. I managed to get a coin. I got some change from something I bought. So that's my coin. I wished I'd thought to get some of those in other places, but places like Norway, for instance, apparently they don't use cash very often, and it's quite hard to come by. And I took some pictures with my phone, and I got this little printer that prints from a phone, and I just printed out a couple of those, and the guys tying up the ship, and some more there. Oh, let me put my coin back in so I don't lose it. And I also got a $2 note from Bermuda, which I've popped in there as well. And we did a tour out to a coral reef where we could see fishes in the glass bottom boat, which was lovely. And we actually saw a shipwreck. And so there's the information about the port and the weather. So that was that. So, and then from Bermuda, oh, this is some little pictures I printed. There was the back of the ship called the Safari Lounge, and on our sea days we would go in there and read and stitch. And there's the stitching I've been working on. and it was really lovely there. And there we have the total itinerary. So our first leg of our cruise was 9 days, and then the second leg was 22 days. So we were on board for 31 days. And then we went to the private island that the ship line owns. And I've got a bit more journaling on there. A bit of journaling here. Let me think, what did I put on there? Oh yeah, I took some pictures of our cabin and how we stuck things with magnets on the walls. So we didn't lose bits of paper. There's so much paper that they give you on board ship. I don't think I put anything in there yet, but I've got a bit more journaling, and this actually was the last two legs of a world cruise that this particular ship was doing, and they'd been cruising for 274 days, Miami to Miami, and so I just popped that in there, and I got some stats, and we actually sailed 7,739 nautical miles. We visited 9 countries with 14 ports of call over 31 days. And we had a really wonderful adventure. And then we flew back to Dallas from Miami. So there was my boarding pass, and there's my second sea pass for that. So I have got a few pictures to put in, and I'm going to put most of them on these tags, I think. But as you can see, I was able to make full use of my lovely junk journal that I made over a number of weeks, and as I pulled it together as we went along, it wasn't hard to do. If I'd have gotten home and tried to do it all in one go, I probably would have given up. But just doing a little bit every day, and then I've got a super memory, precious memory to look back on. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this little walk through my completed journal. I know people ask questions, well, what do you do with journals once you've made them? And you can see what I did with mine. And as I say, I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, give us a thumbs up. Any questions or comments, just pop them down in the comments below, and I'd love to read them, answer any questions that I can. So thank you very much for choosing to spend a little bit of time with me today, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye bye for now.